Bitter criticism, reading, I don't know, I guess Cgtn, everything about China. Cgtn right till the end. Top 5 from the highlights, I guess. And more. Top 5 from the highlights and then Xinhua News, I guess. Or South China Post. South China Morning Post, I guess. I guess it's South China Morning Post. I'm not sure about it. I don't remember. But I'm going to read it. Yeah. Oh my God. Tommy, ven. We're going to face visitors as they are coming up here. I hope they don't start to screaming as usual. You know, sometimes some neighbors, they came here and say, "Hey, take your dogs away." Take your dogs away. Fuck you. Fuck yourselves. So yeah. Just two small dogs. Anyway. Cgtn. Top 5 from the highlights. The first news says China. OCA. This is not an important news about China. It's a very domestic, regular news. China. OCA first vice president declares Harbin Asian Winter Games close. I guess I'm not going to read it. Yeah. First news is not so. Just a second. First news was not so. Was not so high. Was not so lighter. Yeah. Was not so shiny. China. February 14, 2025. China to work for an equal and orderly multipolar world. Chinese former Minister Wang Yi. China to work for an equal and orderly multipolar world. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. This news is not important neither. It's just declarations. It's just declaration news. So it's not so important. I mean, it's just a statement. Let's read the statement. China to work for an equal and orderly multipolar world. Chinese former Foreign Minister Wang Yi. I guess Wang Yi is a great name for I have zero idea about China, Chinese, Chinese foreign, Chinese domestic policy. But this Wang Yi, he's nice. He's nice. He's sympathetic. You know, Wang Yi is. He's beautiful. He has a baby face. He's charismatic, Wang Yi. Anyway, February 14, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on Friday said that China will promote an equal and orderly multipolar world and will firmly serve as a constructive force in the changing world. So this is not a fact. This is not a news about facts, but statements. So it's interesting. So this is a very Chinese news. Is about analysis, maybe politics. It's a news about politics. About, I forgot. Diplomacy. Yeah, it's a news about diplomacy, which is very civilized. You know, people don't give in the West. I mean, in the West, people don't give importance to diplomacy because the West is a garbage. You know, it's a wasteland. There's a lot of chaos in the West, and nobody cares about being human and language, politics, nothing. Text, news, nothing. But here we go. Wang, also a member of the political bureau of the Communist Party of China's Central Committee, made the remarks at the quote unquote China in the world event at the ongoing Munich Security Conference, noting there were 51 member states when the United Nations was founded in 1945, and now it has 193 member states. Wang said a multipolar world is a historical necessity and is becoming a reality. Wang stressed the importance of treating each other equally, respecting the international legal system, practicing multilateralism, and pursuing win-win development in building an equal and orderly multipolar world. So it's just thoughts and diplomacy, you know, is not important for the West. Noting the lessons from the two world wars. Noting the lessons from the two world wars show the unequal order is doomed to collapse and the democratization of international relations is unstoppable. Wang said equal rights and rules are the basic principles of a multipolar world. I was listening to a podcast from, I guess it was the same Danish guy I said before in a previous video. This guy said that Chinese people, the Chinese nation, or China is peaceful. Even China is powerful. Even though China is powerful, they don't have the same mentality, the same mindset in the West to destroy the weaker people, you know, to do to the weak people whatever they please, you know. Why not? Because this is uncivilized, you know. This is hard to explain to a West audience, to an English speaking audience, why China will not abuse Why China will not abuse on everyone else? Well, because everyone else is kind of, the West is kind of sick, you know? The West is mentally sick. They are philosophically sick. That's the response. That's why the West is so abusive in his history. One stressed the importance of treating each other equally, respecting the international legal system, practicing multilateralism, and pursuing win-win development in building an equal and orderly multipolar world. I believe that. I guess it's important, you know. I guess reading Cgtn is, if it's not crucial for the West, is very interesting for Chinese studies, you know, to one day move into China or something like. Noting the lessons from the two world wars show the unequal order is doomed to collapse and the democratization of international relations is unstoppable. Wang said equal rights and rules are the basic principles of a multipolar world. Hailing is wide reach to invite more countries from the global south to participate in the annual Munich Security Conference. Wang said each country can find its place in the multipolar landscape, while attributing the chaos of the world in the present day to the supremacy of power worship by some countries. Wang said China will resolutely uphold the authority of international law. Yeah, so this Danish guy from the Danish guy I heard is what it was right. Noting China has acceded to more than 1,600 international conventions. Wang said that China has done is inject certainty into today's uncertain world. Wang also said that China proposed global development initiative, global security initiative, and global civilization initiative have contributed to global governance. Noting protectionism is on the rise, Wang said China will uphold openness, uphold openness and cooperation to support a multipolar world in a way that benefits all. And then there's another news. The third. Let's read the third news. It's about geopolitics. And says, just one second. I'm facing, it says, US-Europe rifts grow over Ukraine as Trump courts Putin. So a news about the Ukrainian conflict, the conflict in Ukraine, but I'm facing lack of internet. Internet is gone. My internet is gone. Yeah, no internet here. The fourth says, technology. The growing trend of DeepSeek applications across industries. That's the more interesting thing. But unfortunately, internet and tel is not covering here. I'm facing a bad coverage today. Maybe it's related to lack of gigas, lack of I don't know how's that. So I have no internet and no news. I should not upload this video because there's nothing here, just one or two news. Yeah, let's turn this episode into Pepe Escobar Telegram, because I guess I can see the some of the 75 updates without internet. Look, there's a post. Last post says Trump's tariffs against BRICS will backfire. Yeah, if Trump follows through on his threats, this will only supercharge BRICS efforts to develop Swift and US dollar alternatives. Yeah, so definitely that's what the BRICS should do. I cannot support enough BRICS for them to do this, to develop Swift and US dollar alternatives. In my imagination, I thought that as dollar is independent, it is an independent currency. The dollar should migrate to China, and China should own the dollar because they have a lot of dollars, isn't it? And because dollar works, the whole dollar system works, and that will be a happy ending for the world, isn't it? If the Chinese government buys the dollar, like adopt the dollar, buys the dollar or something, that will be a happy ending for everybody, I guess. That will be a communist revolution. I guess that will be simple like that. This was just an idea. Moon in Aquarius idea. I have Moon in Aquarius, so I imagine a lot of things. And it says the second paragraph. The BRICS already have several cross-border payment projects underway, such as the interconnection of payment systems between Russia, Iran, and China, the BRICS Pay Card, and the BRICS Bridge. So there's a funny story here. There's the North Europe map, and the Gulf of Finland, and now it's Gulf of Russia. And the Baltic Sea is now Russian Sea. It's just an idea, because of. And there's another one. There's old. I don't remember how the name of this kind of Viking is. A Viking ship, an old Viking ship made of wood, tripulate with a tripulation of Europe, and this ship is declining. And all the leaders are there, and it's absolutely declining. Yeah, I guess it's all right. I guess all that is real. So I will focus in dying right here in Chile. I guess I will focus in dying, and I will focus in migrate to Russia, China, There's a previous post on Pepe Escobar Telegram. Trump begs Russia to rejoin G7. BRICS is the reason why. Yeah, I don't know if this. Yeah, this definitely will be is true, definitely. But yeah, and definitely is a kind of consequence. Is a kind of a consequence. Predictable consequences. Trump begs Russia to rejoin G7. BRICS is the reason why. Quote, I would love to have Russia back in the G7. It was a mistake to kick Russia out. End quote. He told reporters in the Oval Office. And the second paragraph says, Don't brush this off as a random statement, unlike Biden. Trump and the people around him are deeply concerned about BRICS, about BRICS Plus. They know it has the potential to crack US financial hegemony. Definitely. And the conclusion says, a summary. Subscribe to New Rules GO or follow us on X. First, declare quote-unquote BRICS is dead. Second, bring Russia back to this G7, G8 all over again. Third, split Russia from China, the top two BRICS. Yeah, that's an idea, yeah. And Russia, as everybody should know, Russia, they like it in the first. They like the idea for a while, They tried to be NATO. So maybe Russia will, yeah. But at this point, I don't think so, Who knows? I am Italian, I have Italian nationality. I don't like the West anymore by any means. I don't like the West. I prefer global South, yeah. There's no natality. Nobody's is, the West is going to die. There's no kids there in the global North. There's a lot of development problems, Well, first, before this great, very interesting post on Pepe Escobar Telegram, there's a video saying techno-feudalism, meet America's new oligarch ruling class. Pepe Escobar joins New Rules podcast to discuss how the US deep state created deep big tech, why China's technological innovation model is superior, and Trump's obsession with AI dominance. There was a podcast, and the first says, what is techno-feudalism? Techno-feudalism. Rui Costa Pimenta in Brazil, he says this is bullshit. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I stick with Karl Marx. Yeah, I'm stick with the Marxists. The techno-feudalism is just capitalism. Believe it or not, capitalism is terrible. Believe it or not. If you don't believe it, let's see what happens in Russia in the future. Anyway, the second item says US deep state and Silicon Valley. The third says debunking globalist arguments on AI. Why big tech is going to war against deep state? Chinese tech model. Why big tech defeated to Trump? Defected to Trump. And that's it. I'm just going to see if there's some news on Cgtn. If Cgtn is back. Not back. There's nothing here. Well, the last top 5 from the highlights on Cgtn. Netza 2 hits North American theaters for official release. A Chinese movie for USA. I guess Chinese movies are not so great. Going to try the last one, the last time. I only have 3% of charge. So this turned to be a Pepe Escobar Telegram special. Turkey is run by Atlanticists and NATO lovers. The Gang of Five, as they are called in Turkey, is closely linked to the AKP, Justice and Development Party, and Erdogan, which has given them great power to influence political and economic decisions. They are the driving force between pro-NATO and pro-EU politics in Turkey. But who exactly is the Gang of Five? And there's five, yeah. Mehed Narif Gunal, president of MAPA. Nihat Ozdemir, president of Limak. Insaat Mehmed Cengiz, president of Genghis. Semal Kalyonku, president of Kalyon. Nasi Kologlu, president of Kolim. A report by the main opposition Republican People's Party, CHP, points out that the government has issued $9 billion, which is 330.5 billion liras, worth of tenders, including those below $2 million, which is 100 million liras. I guess the lira there's inflation in Turkey, but the liras is not so devaluated. The liras. And that 50% of those tenders were won by the same 50 companies in the last 5 years. Among those tenders, 24% were won by the quote-unquote the Gang of Five. And that's it. My battery is over, so it's kind of, the show today was canceled, but it has a good size of a canceled show, a good size of Pepe Escobar Telegram. Yeah, I hope someday move to China or Russia. But I guess I'm going to do to Brazil.